Welcome back. In a severe cold snap, a 2.5-year-old displaced girl lost her life inside the Soweto refugee camp amid a lack of humanitarian aid and safe shelter. This death highlights the harsh conditions faced by the displaced families in the province, where thousands are forced to live in the open. This report has more.
A 2.5-year-old displaced girl died in Marib Governorate after suffering a severe health crisis caused by a drop in temperatures, according to her family. The girl's father explained that the family arrived at a Soweto camp 3 days ago from Hadramaut and are still living in the open without shelter or aid.
Because of the dire situation in Sayoul, my family moved here to Ma'rib and were displaced to a Soweto area. Thanks God for everything. I couldn't find any shelter, so a friend of mine gave me a room in his house temporarily until I could sort things out. My daughter, about 2 years and 4 months old, contracted a fever from the cold. It reached her brain and we rushed her to the hospital. Thanks God for everything. She was there for about 2 hours and admitted to the intensive care unit, but it wasn't enough. Thanks God, it was God's will and destiny. She passed away.
For its part, the Marib Displaced Persons Affairs Department indicated that the governorate is witnessing an influx of displaced people from the eastern governorates amid limited humanitarian interventions, which forces many families to face the winter without tents or heating.
محافظة مأرب هي محافظة صحراوية تصل درجة الحرارة إلى
Ma'rib Governorate is a desert governorate where temperature reach extremely low levels that displaced people cannot endure. Today, we received tragic news: the death of a child in a Soweto camp, possibly due to the complications from the cold. We also reported several deaths last year. Adding to the hardship is the influx of thousands of displaced families from Hadramaut Governorate to Ma'rib. These families have arrived in the open, and the effects of the cold will be very severe on them.
Displacement camps in Marib are suffering from dire humanitarian conditions, with shortages of shelter materials and a high risk of respiratory illnesses, especially among children, women, and elderly, making humanitarian interventions an urgent necessity to prevent further loss of life.